Rewatchers Council finally starting on a Thursday. A little technical difficulties here, everybody, but always happy to talk Buffy whenever I can, even if I can barely be heard or I can barely hear my fellow council member, which I'm sure I can. Uh, what a treat once again to be joined by Brennan Marr. Brennan, how you doing, pal?
Doing good, doing good.
Well, uh, difficult. I don't know if it's a difficult episode. A
Well, it was to me.
cringy
It was
episode.
to me.
A little cringy, let's say
Yeah,
that.
definitely, definitely.
Yes. I think when it comes down to it, this is Spike's true nature, though. Like, this is 100% how he acted in Fool for Love with the writing the love letters to Cecily and all those kind of things.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
you might be a vampire, but his nature really hasn't changed. He just got maybe a little more confident. Well, he was always confident, a little bit more violent, I guess, is what it comes down to. So, we're talking Crush. It's season 5, episode 14 already. We're in the silver anniversaries of these episodes. Its original air date, February 13th of 2001. Written by David Fury, whose last episode was Shadow, and directed by Daniel Attias. His last episode he'll direct for the entire series, and the only other one he did was Shadow as well. So you like to
Hmm.
work with David Fury, seems. You know what I mean? Now, the number one movie in your United States of America, Brennan. A sequel that I don't know if we needed, but we sure got. Hannibal was the number
Ooh, ooh.
where Julianne Moore takes the role of Clarice. I didn't mind Hannibal. I thought
Yeah,
it was
no,
fun.
it was okay.
You know, it's having to accept Julianne Moore, who I think is terrific as a Clarice Starling, is was something. But it's not like Anthony Hopkins was always Hannibal Lecter. So there you go. They
True.
can mix it. They can mix and match as much as they want. Speaking of mixing and matching, that has nothing to do with what was the number one song in America at the time. Still, it wasn't me by Shaggy. What a big song.
Oh my word.
Yeah. They even caught him on camera, if I remember right, Brennan. The number one song in the UK, Whole Again by Atomic Kitten.
Oh wow.
I didn't think I remember that song until I said, well, I'll just put it on Spotify and check it out real quick. Oh, I recognized it. It's a it's a perfectly fine 2001 pop song. I'm just hoping it doesn't do anything to interrupt my, algorithm when it comes to Spotify.
Oh no, not the
Yes.
algorithm.
Well, now let's just say this. I enjoy ACDC as much as the next man, but I put my wife on a plan or whatever. So when she plays darts, she puts in headphones and she listens to music. Even though she's a country music lover, which I still don't understand to this day, she will only listen to ACDC while she's playing darts. And so now my algorithm thinks that ACDC is my favorite band.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not, but it's a perfectly serviceable band, which I enjoyed seeing live before. But yeah. When I got that Spotify Wrapped and I saw ACDC was my number one thing, I was like, I don't think this is right. Anyways, doesn't matter. Uh, moving on. The number one song in Canada was much better than all those other ones. It was One More Time by Daft Punk. The second time it made it to number one
Yeah.
because Canada just likes what it likes. All right, Brennan? It doesn't have to, you know, just like it, have it drop off.
Well,
It
you're
can,
Canadians.
be sign waving. You know what I mean? All right. DVD summary time. Buffy is shocked to discover Spike is in love with her because, she's 20 years old and doesn't pay attention to anything. It's a situation made dangerously worse by Drusilla's unexpected arrival back in Sunnydale. It's
Oh,
always nice to have Juliet Lando back as Drew. Uh, for the last time, in as the series goes and stuff like. I think she's
Oh darn.
times in flashbacks. You know how they love a flashback.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
is her
Juliet Landau is terrific.
yeah, this is her last canon visit to Sunnydale on the show. All right.
Uh huh.
Starting off at the bronze, haven't been there since an ogre, or a troll, I should say, did a little damage to it. So there's got a new mezzanine, I guess you could say, up top there. Not made out of two or 4x4s for to help keep it aloft, which is probably for the best. To use actual girders in there would be a better idea. You see them all dancing there. The dancing is going to be Emma Caulfield's credits moving
Yes.
forward for this.
We'll call it the Anya dance.
Yes. Spike is there, of course, not picking up on social cues. Doesn't understand the help he offers, isn't appreciated. Also, for him, it's gotta suck just to be told to move by someone like Xander and not being able to do anything. Yet that
Yeah.
pride just gets taken out from under you anytime that Xander tells you to do anything. We see that Willow's still suffering from her dissipation spell. Success. I made the word right the second attempt. Pretty good for me. A little sick by it. Buffy decides no glory talk. And I think they keep that up pretty well, except that she does want to go talk to Ben, who has something to do with Glory, if I remember right. I just can't put my finger on it.
Mm.
She just wants to thank him for looking after Dawn. Then Xander's going to go over. He's going to give a Spike crap for stealing his change. I, I, I don't know why Xander is carrying around one of those waiter things of change and stuff like that, where he probably just went to the bar to go get drinks before. I've never seen them actually served at the Bronze. You know what I mean? It's a
Who knows
strange.
what's in those cups?
Oh my God, you're exactly right. Uh,
Particularly when teenagers were going there.
yep, and as of this episode, they are still not of age, so it never really mattered. They were there when they were 15 years old. For
Well,
God's
it
sakes,
was the early 2000s, so you know.
that's true. It was a different time. A different time where
Fake IDs were all the rage.
we could we could play fast and loose with some fake IDs back in the day. Anyways, Spike is getting a little interested in what's going on with this conversation
Hmm.
that Buffy's having with Ben. But we're going to move away from there for a minute. And there's the end of the cold open here. Actually, one of the scarier bits that you'll get in a Buffy episode because the train's going to roll in. The porter is going to say, last stop. It's Sunnydale. No one's getting off the train, Brennan. He's going to
Yeah,
go up there.
it
And
seems
it's an
like
absolute slaughterhouse.
I don't know, train station conductors. That's a dangerous line of work.
Yeah, they have a lot of
Nothing other good happens to them.
no, not late, not late. There's got to be danger pay to be a night porter at Sunnydale Station.
Well, danger pay to live in Sunnydale.
That's true. Well, most people forget everything that happens there. Anyways, historically, so he's going to go there. He's going to see that it's been an absolute bloodbath in the place. He's going to scream for help, try and get out, but an unseen force is going to yank him back in, Brennan, and this is when we get the credits. So Buffy's going to get home. Turns out Giles was babysitting not
Mm.
only Dawn but Joyce as well for some reason. Buffy wants to get some fatherly advice here because her father's been a no-show, ever since the ice capades back when she was a teenager.
Oh yes.
Uh, Wants to get a little advice about how much she should be coddling Dawn. Now, he thinks for her sense of normalcy, she should treat her like she always has. don't treat her like she's anything special, like a mystic key or anything like that. And so, yeah, Buffy's going to thank her for that. Start giving her crap about a missing sweater.
Mm.
But that lech, Spike has it. Also, with Spike is Harmony. Harmony Kendall still hanging out with
Well,
Spike. Yeah, she wants to be spending some time together, Brennan. You know what I mean?
yes, that's a euphemism.
Uh, I just meant like maybe they could sit on the couch and read, stories together and stuff like that. That'd be fine.
I mean,
Spike
sure.
isn't up for it. You know what I mean? Not up for it at all. But Harm suggests maybe they could play a game. You
Mm.
know, a little, you know, uh, a Slayer vampire game. It's nice to see Harmony, the Vampire Slayer. It's nice to have Mercedes McNabb actually as Buffy, considering that's who she originally tried out for and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Like, audition for it. I guess you audition, not try out. I guess you try out more for school.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Right. Now, head over to university because some of these people still go to class. Tara's describing Quasimodo, basically just drawing all the parallels between Quasimodo and Spike. How selfish Quasimodo was and had no moral compass. He had no understanding what's right, and all he did was for the love of a woman who would never love him back. I don't
Mm.
know if you can, hit the nail on the head anymore. Also, he's bumpy. You know what I mean? Maybe he was bumpy on the back and someone else was bumpy in the front, but bumpy nonetheless. So, Buffy is going to prepare by the test, she says, by she watched the cartoon.
Mm.
I never watched that cartoon.
I watched it a lot.
Yeah. Uh, I'm sure it's fine. I've been to Notre Dame. Does that count?
Oh,
Before it burnt.
yes.
Yeah. I saw very little hunchbacks, just regular hunchback looking French people. There's quite a lot of them around. And tourists. But, anyways, we're going to see a student there reading the newspaper. First time in a while. Maybe the first time since like season 3 that we've seen Buffy just grab a newspaper and it's going to tell you all the evil doings that's gone on in Sunnydale overnight or whatever. She's going to
Mm.
see that all these people died of neck contusions and stuff like that. Pretty easy to figure out if you're Buffy what happened from here. And then we're going to see that Dawn, little Donnie, has gone to hang out over at old Spikey's place. Uninvited, mind you. It's not like they
Hmm.
had a play date or anything like that. He tells her to go home because he's about to go do bad, evil things. These kids shouldn't see the bad things that he's about to do. Yeah, she isn't too worried about Spike. She also says that she isn't a child, which is, if you're 2 weeks old or whatever it is, or 6 months old,
Mm.
as a child. I don't care how many memories were implanted on you. You're still little kid. Anyways, he's going to tell her he got over being human. It doesn't matter how you start out. And so this is something that she gets, and she likes the way that Spike actually speaks to her, like she understands things. He says that people are always trying to protect her. She says she feels safe with him, which isn't great. He didn't expect that at all, and then starts pumping up the old ego by saying that he actually might be tougher than Buffy is. I think we know, as an audience, that is crap. That is 100% crap.
Yeah.
He also tells him that Buffy thinks about what would happen if he was chipless. You know,
Mm.
what she'd have to do. This is a little intriguing to our bleach blonde pal here. He wants to know a little bit more. So Buffy's going to get home. Dawn isn't there. Joyce is worried. Then she's going to go over to Spike's place. She enlists the help, and going find her. She, for someone who doesn't want anything to do with Spike, she keeps going back to him a lot for help. You know, maybe it's just a matter of convenience, but anyways, he's going to find Spike telling Dawn a story about when one family or whatever that he had found, and there was a little girl hiding in a coal chute. It's very getting to a very intense part when Buffy walks in. He quickly has to change everything. Don's like, "Well, he was telling me a story," and Buffy's like, "I'd very much like to hear what happened in this story." And he's like, "Well, I gave the little girl a great home, and I didn't even lock her in that coal chute forever," which is one of my favorite things that Spike ever says. I always laugh every time I see this episode. Anyways, no, uh, she's going to grab Dawn, head out of there. Buffy is going to explain to Dawn that Spike is icky, which Dawn seems to disagree about. Now she's figured out Buffy has that little Dawn has a crush on Spike, of all things. She says she just likes hanging out with him. You know, then she brings up the whole angel of it all. So, well, Dawn's almost at the age where Buffy was when she was introduced to Angel. If you want to talk about icky, this show's never gotten better when it comes to that stuff. Just terrible. Uh, anyways,
Yeah.
he says, anyways, it wouldn't matter if Spike ever did notice that she has a crush on him because Spike is totally in love with Buffy. Somehow, despite what's happened over the last however many episodes,
Mm.
Buffy has no idea what she's talking about. Weird. Let me see. Buffy and Xander searching for some clues on the train. He's going to bring up what Dawn said. Xander starts laughing. Xander starts laughing hysterically uh, about all this, and he's like hoping that whatever Dawn said was true or whatever, because it's even more pathetic. I wanted to know what was going on with Xander's hair for all of this. So they certainly didn't use a conditioner, if they even washed his hair at all. It's so flat. It's so flat. It just looks terrible. Looks like they just didn't care that day. You know what I mean? Poor guy.
Mm.
Anyways, when Buffy brings up that Spike has a crush on Dawn, Xander gets like creepy jealous. Like he was funny Xander, the one that the little girl had a crush on.
Mm.
Not cool. There's going to be a lot of episodes in a row where Xander doesn't look good. I can tell you this. I don't know what they were thinking about doing with this character at the time. Anyways, Buffy goes home. She's going to see Spike in her kitchen. Like, this guy just does not pick up on social cues. He doesn't get it. Anyways, I guess him and Joyce have always had a very friendly relationship. So she's telling him a story and stuff like that. He tells, she's like, "You got to get out of here." He's like, "Wait, I got some info on these train happenings and stuff
Mm.
like." So they're gonna go do a little stakeout in his car, which we haven't seen for a bit. Last time we saw his car, it was, you know, had blacked out windows. The windows on this thing is 100% clean. I don't know what he's expecting to do with it. I guess drive around at night. I thought the whole deal with the car was to drive around during the day. So that's the only time we ever see him do it. Anyways, they get to this one spot. It's of course in an alley. They find that they're gonna find a nest here with a couple of slacker vamps. Buffy's like, well, these guys have nested here. Now, Xander might think, you know, something back in 2001 that you wouldn't be able just to say these days. And she's like, these guys have been around for a while. The people that did the stuff on the train just came into town. And then she wants to know what's up. She says, she wants to know the truth about things, and he starts going on about how when people work closely together, feelings can develop. She starts getting grossed out. And again, Angel's referenced once again, which I think it's fair to keep referencing the angel in all of this, but she's going to bring up, he has that soul whole thing or whatever, and he just has the chip. Doesn't he doesn't actually know what feelings are. He starts trying to blurt out, he goes, and she isn't having it. She does not want to hear those words from that guy.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. She says, "There's no talking. There's no we here. You can forget all of this." Spike is gonna leave. Like she leaves, Spike is gonna leave. He gets home. He's crying again. He's a weepy boy. He's a guy in touch with his feelings. It's just that usually most of his feelings are selfish. Otherwise you can almost have a thing in your heart for Spike, which some people do, which I will never, ever, ever, never, ever understand. Anyways,
Mhm.
he feels that somebody's there. Something says in a familiar voice that it's a happy memory come to make things better. So we're gonna get Drusilla back on the show. Lucky us. She's gonna fill him in on everything that happened in LA, the whole Darla Angel thing of it, including how she was recently set on fire, but doesn't she doesn't look like Freddy Krueger or anything like that. She's doing well.
Mm.
Uh, she wants to get a family reunion back. No, says he has no interest in Los Angeles. But she also knows about the chip and knows that makes him defensive now. She says she doesn't believe in science. I think, something 25 years later, she would have a lot more allies behind her for some stupid
Yeah.
reason. You know what I mean? But she knows in his heart of hearts, Brennan, he's a killer. And no chip can stop that no matter what.
Mm.
Then he's going to bring up that blinding pain that happens. Well, he says that electricity lies, which is something new. It's a maybe something someone can jump on at some point. Anyways, these two, no matter what happened after they left Sunnydale, looking a little cozy right now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Maybe a little looking a little familiar, but Harmony's going to show up. No, she thinks that this is all part of the sex games they've been playing lately, and she isn't into people dressed up like his ex Druidzilla, which is nice. And
Yeah.
she'd be into maybe a boy girl thing, except Charlize Theron was into it.
Mm.
You have to, that is Drew. And then she's like, well, uh, she starts going on about her, how Drew broke her sweet boo boo's heart. The best is when Drew's mouths the words boo boo to
Mhm.
Spike. And
Mhm.
then she tells her that he has serious trust issues now. And Spike won't let her crawl back, but
Mm.
Spike does the famous Buffy the Vampire Slayer throat grab to Harm and says, this is it. Dumps her. He dumps Harmony Kendall.
Mm.
Thanks. She wants to know if it's because Drew's back. He says, no, it's because he's back, Brennan.
Mhm.
Spike thinks he's back to being Spike. Then him and Drew start making out. He's pretty rich.
Yeah.
pretty weird thing to do. So Buffy's gonna tell Joyce what happened here with on the stakeout. Joyce is gonna victim blame her.
Mm.
Was
Mm.
it something she did?
Mm.
What? Terrible,
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah. Buffy reminds him that the chip's in his head. He's in no real danger to anybody around there. They remind her maybe she's a little twisted though, and then hopes Willow's going to hope that she made it clear there's no possible way it could ever happen between them.
Mm.
Buffy says something. Oh, I think I did. What would she have to do this to be so stupid? Anyways, Will tells her that he has to be shut down completely. You can't leave Spike hanging. It seems, Brendan. Now we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go over to the bronze, and in classic bronze fashion, we got a band named Summer Camp playing a very much sleep-inducing song. I don't know what it is about why they grab the music at this place, especially at this time. There was a lot of fun songs in the 2000s, and they weren't all about trying to put people to sleep. Anyways, there's another one. And yeah, so many white people dancing poorly to
Yeah.
this. Terrible. Anyways, so two of
Mm-hmm.
those white people, Spike and Drew, dancing in the middle of the floor, having a nice time, enjoying watching a young couple make out on the mezzanine, which is kind of gross. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So they've all said that Buffy has to go nip all this in the butt. Buffy is off now to go do some nip butting. But
Mm-hmm.
before she leaves, she asks Willow to do something for her. Just leaves it at that. And we go back to the bronze. Drew has just grabbed the guy, pushed the girl to Spike, starts eating him, then watches Spike. Spike is a tentative. Let's say that. He's not unsure of what to do. Takes a moment, but then goes all vamp face and ends up draining that girl. And for some reason, this isn't brought up again, and I am clueless as to why. Anyways, Buffy goes to the crypt. He opens up the sarcophagus kind of thing, goes down to the basement. This is where she finds the Buffy mannequin and a whole shrine to her. And what's with vampires drawing pictures of the people they're in love with, Angel and Darla, and Spike with Buffy? What is drawing?
Mm-hmm.
This is in the year 2001. Just take a picture. Well, I guess Angel can't do it with Darla, supposedly, even though Angel somehow shows up on videotape all the time. But you don't have to draw a picture of Buffy, you know what I mean? Just take a picture. Anyways, she's going to start climbing back up the ladder, waiting for her, conveniently, a bloody mouth Spike.
Mm.
Again, he has blood on his mouth. She never mentions anything about it. Anyways, she asks if she's seen anything interesting. She's going to seem a little worried by this. Uh, she's going to ask what's happened here. Drew says, "Oh, I happened," and then knocks her with a cattle prod of all things. I don't know where they get a cattle prod, as
Mm-hmm.
vampires, but gives her a zap. Tells Buffy that Spike's been feeding again, uh, but really knows what he's hungry for. You know what I mean? And then zaps her again. This time, it's going to knock her out. Drew suggests tying her up to play for a little bit. The way that Drew likes to do. But Spike's done playing. Somehow has grabbed the cattle prod and cattle prods Drusilla.
Yep.
Everything's going around in a circle here. Now, when Buffy wakes up, she's chained.
Mm-hmm.
All of these trips have plenty of chainable spaces, it seems. She sees that Drew's all tied up as well. She's upset, Drew, that the game has changed here. He's taking her chair from her. Uh, Now, Spike has something to prove to Buffy, who keeps now telling her that he loves her, that she's all he thinks and dreams about. I enjoy when Drew starts laughing at him through all this. She brings up the conversation in Brazil, how she knew that Spike was in love with the Slayer. He says he knows that she feels something for him. Oh, Buffy, because of the disgust you've shown towards me, that's got to mean more than that. She says, no, it's revulsion, and you can't love without a soul. Drew disagrees. I like Drew, how she just pipes in here and stuff like that. You can love well if not wisely, paraphrasing Shakespeare. Spike offers to prove it.
Not wisely, but too well.
You got it. Spike offers to prove how much he loves Buffy. He's going to stake good old Drusilla, he's like, you don't know what this means and stuff like that. Like, Drew was his savior, blah, 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 all the history. And it's a big deal. Buffy couldn't care less. It's like, yeah, please. Please do kill that other vampire. It would be fantastic. He says if Buffy doesn't admit to some attraction to him, maybe he'll just untie Drew and have her kill her instead.
Mm.
Which that's outside the box thinking. That's fine. Drew likes that idea a lot more. That part of the game, Drew is much more of a fan of. Spike is now begging just for the smallest smidgen of a possible chance someday. It's like Dumb and Dumber or whatever. That seems like, so you're telling me there's a chance. Anyways, he's gonna get. He said she says the only chance he ever had was when she was knocked out. He's gonna get enraged.
Which is a
Starts
horrifying
blaming
line.
starts blaming all women, uh,
Yep.
Brennan, because always,
Spike's an incel.
yeah, it's always easier to blame everybody else and do a little bit of self evaluating. You know what I mean? He's also gonna then blame Drew for everything, her leaving him for that chaos demon. Plus the last year and a half's wheels in motion. He admits now that he and Buffy are wrong. This shouldn't be a thing. Then starts going on how he should just kill the both of them. And then starts going on about how all this stuff. Harmony is just going to end up shooting him in the back with a crossbow.
Yep, that works.
Uh, if this was a movie theater, I'd be standing up and clapping when she does it. She wants to know what about her because of anything. Maybe she was treated the absolute worst by him. Drew now encouraging Harmony tells him that she thought if she acted like a doormat, basically, he'd come around. Now realizes who Spike is. Starts preparing another bolt for it, but this is where Spike's going to attack and knock the crossbow away. The fights are going to start now. Brennan, Drew, and Buffy each try and get loose. Harmony actually hangs in there with Spike, and you gotta appreciate that, considering how she had a hard time at one time hanging in there with Xander of all
Mm.
people. Drew's the first to free herself. Uh, Decides to attack Buffy. Uh, this okay. For her doing that, gets head butted in the face, which is always fun. Harm is going to do a good thing. Twist that arrow in Spike's back. If she only would have, there's Spike's gotten a bunch of arrows either in his back or his chest that have just missed his heart. He's been a pretty lucky boy. Um, he starts yelling because he was on her hair. Drew and Buffy still fighting. Harmony's going to grab another arrow and try and push it towards Spike's chest, but he's going to fight her off. Drew starts hitting Buffy with a 2x4 of everything, like she's Hacksaw Jim Duggan, for God's sakes.
Mm.
Drew grabs Buffy's throat. Classic. Another classic. But Spike is going to push her off now. She's going to free Buffy for whatever reason. Drew gets disappointed by this and says, she can't help him now. She tried. She's going to leave Sunnydale, like I said, for the last time. Harmony's also going to say goodbye. I enjoy the way she says goodbye a lot more. How she has to say goodbye on behalf of her rear end, and that the only way you're going to see it is if she was walking away. But if she ever saw him, then she would just walk away backwards. And that's how Harmony Kendall uh, uh, is off the show. This is the last appearance for Harmony. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a series wrap from Mercedes McNabb. Good thing is, maybe she shows up in another show. So Buffy is now going to punch Spike across the room. Of course, as good aim, not only to punch the man across the room, but to take out the shrine. As she does it, she starts heading home. She's almost there. Spike is going to catch up. Buffy tells him that she wants him out of her life. Tells him to never come by her or any of her other loved ones ever again. He says, it's not that easy. Neither of them can do anything about it. For some reason, he says he's in her life, like it or not, and can't be shut out. But as Buffy crosses the threshold of her home, Spike tries to follow, but an invisible force field keeps him from doing it. He realizes he can't. He looks at her. She closes the door, and that's how it ends. Now, next time, Brennan. Not only are we introduced to one of the more consequential characters in Buffy the Vampire Slayer history, maybe the hardest ending. That's all we'll have to say about that. It was I Was Made to Love You. The next show we'll do live for Buffy on a Thursday on Rewatchers Council. Brennan, I appreciate that you stood by while I had this little technical difficulty.
Yep.
Why don't you tell everybody what you're up to here on the good old internets?
Well, you can find me on Bluesky, brennmar.bluesky.social. Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. That page turners, they were not.
Thanks, buddy. Rewatchers Council back tomorrow with Angel, the thin deadline. Yeah. So join us for that. I'm going to be live early. Have a coffee with Snark, Adelia, and Ryan Christensen as Post Whistle takes on the gold medal final for men's Olympic hockey. Sunday morning at 7 Central of all times. Bright and early. Usually when I start, I've been at work for a little bit by then, but not on a Sunday. Not on a Sunday.
Yep.
So it's a special thing. I'll be awake, having some coffee with y'all. And then Tuesday, and this is on our sister channel, Good Friends, Better Rivals. And Tuesday, starting 11, we'll be back. Adelia and I talking about the English Premier League. And then, of course, Rewatchers Council is live Thursdays, right here on the post credits. Until we meet again, in the immortal words of the lovely Harmony Kendall. Hope you guys all like and subscribe. And we'll see you again next time.